Hey guys, it's Alek Yap, and I'm here to answer question number two. Should a government restrict personal freedoms in order to decrease violence and crimes? If so, to what extent, and where do we draw the lines and why? So, with my argument, I'll start off with what is a totalitarian state and what it means. So, we'll start off with you can call the grandfather of the idea, Rousseau. During the Age of Enlightenment, he said, in order to produce a perfect society and perfect people, your society should be governed and led by a perfect person. And having that perfect person uh, be in charge of everyone and telling them what to do, making everyone like him, everyone would be perfect. And a perfect society is what they wanted in a totalitarian state. So they believe that restricting people to follow a specific norm will eventually make the perfect people, and a perfect people and a perfect society will eventually lead to freedom. So in this case, in the story, forcing society to follow everything Big Brother says will result in a safer and more likelihood of decreased violence of crimes, and that's their goal of the government, and that's why they scare people. If people are scared, why would they attempt crimes? Although this is popular belief in their society, it doesn't mean it's the most ethical way of restricting people or preventing crimes. Um, yeah, a totalitarian government would be, or a dictatorship would be like the best way to prevent crimes from happening, but it's not the most ethical at times. Um, because limiting people to not be able to express their thoughts can lead to the downfall of a government. So many people in that totalitarian state doesn't seem to be, but they want to overthrow the system. A couple of them do because of it's not beneficial to them. They don't actively talk about it because they could be killed, but they might find other people and attempt to overthrow the government. So that's dangerous for the government itself. Restriction and surveillance should only be allowed to a certain extent, and this is where my opinion comes in. So I'd say the line would be closer to what we have as a democratic government. Because in a democratic people, yes, people are monitored, or people are like the NSA could be watching you, whatever. But at the same time, you're allowed to speak your mind. You're allowed to do what you want. Ultimately, like everyone, not specific people. But you can say what you want, and you shouldn't have the scare of being killed for your belief. So in a democratic state, you would be punished for your bad crimes and choices, but it's more like if it was deemed as a crime, meaning it's harmful to other people or potentially harmful to them, or like threatening to their existence, their life. So yes, a totalitarian government is ultimate better when it comes to limiting crimes, but it's not the most ethical. Uh, a democratic government, although not as successful in limiting crimes, it is one of the most ethical and the best choices between two. So, uh, again, the government should put rules to limit crime, but to a certain extent. That certain extent is like, let's say, people are allowed to say what they want. Because if people are allowed to say what they want, they don't keep that inside and decide to revolt. Um, People should feel safe. People should feel like their life isn't threatened, their opinion should be threatened. But at the same time, they should also live on a rule where they can't harm one another and get away with it, because that's not good in itself. So people like another philosopher in the Age of Enlightenment, people like John Locke should be considered, because his views veers closer to what we have today. And when they wrote, or when our founding fathers were trying to figure that out, they Thomas Jefferson decided to go follow John Locke, and he believed that people are free by nature and that all men are created equal, and that your rights as a human is always number one and should be always there. So, So yeah, so in conclusion, a government should have limitations on what people are allowed to do, but not so much that it seems like you're enslaved under a ruler or anything like that. The people should feel like they have a power or a say in the government. Shouldn't be one-sided. So then again, it should more likely be like our democratic government, more or less, not close or not even anywhere close to a totalitarian government, because it was just overthrown. Even showed in history, it's not that successful. So I'm going to conclude it there. And thank you. Thanks for watching.